If you're a heating and air conditioning contractor, what are 5 ways for you to avoid being sued in this day and age from a client after you do an install or after you do a service? And why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live from Sacramento, California, on a perfect day to talk about sales and business, and a fantastic day to talk about you. So one of the bubbles on the horizon and one of the biggest conversations that's going to be out there is companies being taken to the courts to ask for money, to have services and systems refunded and damages and all sorts of stuff. So I have to tell you from the beginning, I'm not an attorney. If you need legal qualification, you should do that. But there's a couple of best practices that I can help you out with. And number one is you can keep notes from your discovery process. That if you have a salesperson, a technician, somebody going out to the call, those questions and answers should be logged into a computer or have a picture taken of them and put into the CRM so that you have some sort of information. So I could think of a call that I ran early on in my career where the person said, hey, I really want the air conditioner to achieve a certain temperature. So that system was designed at that set point. And then later on, the person came back and said, hey, well, it's not working operating properly. I really want it to achieve a different temperature. Well, I had the notes that I had turned in with the install, and it was in the job folder. So the owner of the company is sitting there looking in the computer. I'm going to use my phone as the computer. And he pulls it up and he says, hey, that's kind of weird. You know, when Scott designed this system, one of the questions he asked was this temperature. And the guy says, yeah, but I changed my mind. He had the opportunity to say, well, we can go out there and we can install a different system, but it's going to cost you because you changed your mind. There was evidence. There was something. So the cool thing about a picture and having it uploaded into a computer is it date stamps it and it location stamps it. And there's the ability to go and say, where was that picture? Oh, that picture was taken on, March 1st, 2021 at Bob Smith's house. Like I could see on the XGIF data, I could tell you where it's coming from. Okay. Number 2, disclose your offers and what was declined. So, same thing. I could think of times where people say the system's not as energy efficient as I thought that it was. Well, not everybody remembers everything and who said what, especially if they got multiple bids. One guy might have said, you're going to save 80%, random number. And then, if I go out there, I'm like, well, the number's going to be closer to 20. They heard 80. Well, if you disclose and say, hey, like, look, here's what could be expected. If you have systems that are declined, like you're in a home that's 2 stories and you're like, the best way this thing's going to get service for you is to do a variable speed motor. We have a lot of zoning in Sacramento, a ton of zoning. One of the manufacturer companies that did new construction zoned everything. Everything's zoned. And realistically, those systems they're done. They're cheater systems. They don't have bypass dampers. They don't have anything. They're just boxes with 2 big dampers in them. And in all realities, every one of those systems should have variable speed 2-stage. Right? But people will skimp out and say, well, I'll sell you this job and you don't need to have it. Smart companies will say, hey, listen, it really needs to be 2-stage variable speed in order to make this thing work right, or you're going to burn out compressors and you're going to burn out fan motors, and we need to add in more return. So with this being said, 2A is offering duct replacement on every freaking call that you run. Hey, I offer duct replacement. This duct replacement should be done. This is all gray flex R4 or black flex R4 or sheet metal with, R2 wrapped around it. In order to get the best efficiency, in order for the system to work right, all of this stuff really needs to be replaced, and here's the investment amount. Having good documentation on what you do is really going to save you. Now, here's the thing. If you want to be better at sales, you want to be good at what you do, you should absolutely join my email publication. Go to hvactechsecrets.com. I'll give you the goods. Not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, discounted training. It's an email publication. You'll freaking love it. And occasionally I try to sell you stuff. Number 4, take pictures and videos before, take pictures and videos after. All right. So I've always been a huge proponent that if I'm going to sell somebody a system, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, a system today, when that job is sold, I'm going to let me book my comeback date. When am I going to come back and take a look at that unit? When am I going to come back and be able to take pictures and make sure that you're happy? I could tell companies, technicians this all day long, and 1 out of 100 people listen. But here's the thing. If I'm showing back up to take pictures and take videos and talk to the homeowner, it gives me number 5, which is to have a conversation to make sure if there's a problem, it can get resolved faster. When I was on a management team and when I was a sales manager, one of the complaints was The sales guy came here, he sold me, he made me feel like I was his friend, and then when I needed help, he wouldn't return my phone calls. I probably took one of those calls. I worked for a really big company. I probably took one of those calls at least every day or every other day. There was 22 salespeople, right? And if they were running 3 leads a day, you start doing the math. I also had senior techs that were selling. So when you start doing the math and start figuring out how many opportunities there are for jobs to be sold, and I worked with a really good team, then you also know that by going through and having this path, it reduces frustration. Does it solve problems? I cannot guarantee it's going to stop you from being into legal liability, but I can share with you, those are some of the best practices to help slow it down, right? Like, it would be crazy for me to say 100%. No, I could tell you that if you've got a company, it's part of the thing of owning a business. Somebody's going to come and say, you've got money and I want it in my pocket. And I live in California. You could literally be sued for anything and everything here. Scott, you said ham sandwich the wrong way. I'm going to sue you. Oh my goodness. It's entirely possible. You got 1 of 3 things to do from here. Just 1 of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.